Hi, Indiana fans. I'm Don Fischer, and I'm with the new head football coach at Indiana University, Curt Cignetti. And Coach, first of all, welcome to Indiana University and Bloomington, Indiana. I know you've had a chance to feel it out a little bit. What do you think?
Took me a month to see it in the daylight, to be honest with you. But now that I have, no, I haven't. Every day's been a great day. Super excited. It's been awesome. Looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, you hit the ground running. You've been recruiting like crazy since you've been here. Give us a little background on what you've been able to do in that regard. Without question, the numbers are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you get here and you got 10 offensive starters in the portal, 25 total. You got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. But we got some momentum going around day 5, and then it just picked up. And we brought in close to 30 mid-year transfers, 6 high school guys, and about 22 or 23 transfers. So I think we've changed the roster, changed the look of the team, excited about getting going. They're in the strength and conditioning program now. We'll start spring ball the first Thursday after spring break, go Tuesday, Thursdays in the morning, Saturday around noon. And really excited to see what kind of development we make as a team in the next 2 months in the strength and conditioning program. I've got a great guy running it, Derek Owings. I think he's the best in the country. Kids have made significant progress in the past with him, and I think they're going to like the program.
Talk a little bit about your coaching staff, because most of these guys have been with you quite a while, but you brought in a few new ones as well.
Yeah, that's right. Bryant Haynes, my D coordinator, has been with me 10 years. I mean, he did leave me after a couple of years for 2 years at Cal Davis. This is back when I was at IUP. I mean, I hired Bryant Haynes for $6,000. He was a GA here at one time before that. Now he's my D coordinator, and he's making over $1 million. That was in the paper, so I'm allowed to say that. But when you hire a guy for $6,000 and he's making $1 million, you feel pretty good, like
right.
I helped this guy out some.
Absolutely.
Of course, he helps me a lot. And then my offensive coordinator is kind of in the same boat, Mike Shanahan, who's been with me 9 and is a coordinator for 4. So, and I've got a number of guys been with me 5, 6 years, and staff continuity, I think, has really helped me a lot. They know me, they know my moods and how we do things, and so it's been good.
You stayed with Bob Bostad, who was the first-year offensive line coach at Indiana last year. You stuck with him. You brought in 3 other coaches as well, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Bob, I've known his name for a while. Never had met him before. Was sort of looking to improve that area for us. And when I saw he was on the roster, I was really excited, even more so when he decided to stay. And I've been super impressed with him since. Buda Williams is a guy we played against at North Dakota State in the national championship and semifinal round, has an excellent reputation as a defensive line coach, pass rush specialist. Ola Adams was with the Broncos a year and Penn State most recently, but Villanova's defensive coordinator, always thought his back end was very well coached, had heard great things about him. And then Rod Ojong, who we picked up from Charlotte, went to high school out in Illinois, is a super recruiter, very intelligent guy, excellent corner coach. So those are the new guys on the staff. The rest of the guys all came with me from JMU.
Your success as a head football coach has been renowned. Obviously, 13 years, never had a losing season. You've already talked to Indiana people about the fact that you don't plan on doing anything else but winning at Indiana. Tell us a little bit about your thinking process in that regard.
Well, I mean, that's the plan. I mean, I'm in it to win, and winning's not a bad word. Sometimes people think it is, but my first 2 head coaching jobs were major turnaround type jobs. And we won big year 1, the second one in particular. And that's a plan here. And I'm really like the way we've changed the roster here in December leading into January, and excited to see what that looks like. When you're in a situation like Indiana was in the last 3 years, the more new faces you can bring in, guys from programs who have been productive as players but come from winning programs as well and think a little differently, that can influence sort of the guys that are returning, is a great thing. And because what happens, like you end up with 2 kind of guys here. You end up with the guys that sort of have a chip on their shoulder now and want to prove to people that, we're going to get it done.
Right.
You want to keep those guys.
Right.
The guys that have sort of succumbed to defeat, failure, negativity, blame, finger pointing, giving up along the way, you're glad they're in the portal. So the portal really makes it kind of easier to change the roster. And So it is what it is. You better thrive in it if you want to stay in the business and be successful.
Talk a little bit about the number of kids you've gotten from JMU to transfer into Indiana.
I was a little surprised that many guys left when I left. If I had stayed, I thought, we could lose a guy or two. When, they had 14 or 15 guys going to Portland, I didn't take them all. They all wanted to come. We took 10 guys. They're all conference kind of guys, and great people too, with great work habits that will make an impact on this football team. And now they won't all be out there for spring ball. A couple of them had postseason surgery.
Sure.
And, we've got some of that going on. We'll be a little thin on the D-line in spring ball. But, it helps to have people from places like that where the standard is not only winning but championships and the rub-off they have on the other guys.
Obviously, you've got guys you brought back from the portal back to Indiana. 4 or 5 of those guys are pretty important to this ball club.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. And we had more that wanted to come back that we chose not to bring back later on when they saw what we were doing here. But McCauley is a guy who was highly productive at receiver. We think he can take his game to another level, and we can help get him there. Obviously, getting Kadick back on the offensive line was huge because the whole line was in the portal at one time.
Right.
And I feel good about the way that position is shaped up. And, there have been others. So looking forward to it. We've just started our off season, which, the coaches are out recruiting, so Derek Owings and his staff have these guys. And here's one thing I'm going to say is, we're into the program for 3 days, okay? And a lot of the new guys are kind of thriving in it, and there's certain position groups of the returners that are thriving in it as well. There's some position groups that are a little soft, and there's some softness in this place that we need to eliminate. So before we have to worry about like stock and complacency when you win all the time, making sure you're not feeling too great after all these wins, we got to get rid of this softness so we can put ourselves in a position to stock complacency.
Your freshman class that you're bringing in here, you've got a few of those players that you're recruiting at JMU, and obviously kept a few that were already committed to Indiana. Talk a little about that freshman class.
Yeah, the JMU guys were kind of the top guys we thought and had expressed an interest in coming. We didn't like rate them, but when you get a call from a guy and he wants to come and he's one of your top guys, then we provide him that opportunity. There were a number of guys signed when I was hired, and some of them we didn't think were the best of fits, and they moved on, and we retained a good nucleus of those two. So that's what we're working on now for next year, because that high school group next year needs to be a great class.
All right, just give me a quick comment about what your expectation is through spring camp. What are you looking for as far as the spring practices?
Improve every day. It's a process. We're process oriented. Be where your feet are, focused, positive energy. Get the information from the meeting, maximize the meeting. Maximize every rep, one play at a time, one rep at a time. Get in that habit of playing one play at a time in spring ball, fall camp. So you're playing that way in the games. You get in those close games at the end. You just keep that going. You're not affected by the circumstances of the game. Hopefully we can get to the point where we change the way people think during a game and we can empty the bench. All right. But chances are when you're in a situation like we're going to be in year one, you're probably going to be in a lot of close games. So you got to teach them how to win them.
Coach, your wife, Annette, obviously, and your family, there's no question that's an important factor too. Has she taken care of all the peripheral things that you have to deal with and let you coach football?
Oh, yeah. Through the years, no doubt about it. I mean, when you're a 28-year assistant coach, basically what's now P5, you're not home very much. She raised 3 4.0 kids, and she settled me down at a young age. I guarantee you that was hard. But she's a superstar.
Well, there's no question. Coach, welcome to Indiana University. We're so excited to have you here.
Appreciate it. It's great to be here.